Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Jimmy Wendolek, joined by our forecaster, Brian Michigan. Well, Brian, after a warm month of October, what type of conditions can we expect as we head into a new month?
As we welcome the month of November, it looks like some new weather will come along with it. For more details, I'll have that coming up in my forecast.
Sounds great. Can't wait to hear all the details in your upcoming forecast. But first, let's jump into nature in the news. For this week's show, I have stories about singing lemurs in Africa and a newborn zebra in Florida. What about you, Brian?
For this week's show, I'll be sharing stories about how elephants are being born without tusks, as well as how endangered California condors are making a rebound.
Very interesting. And with that, let's go straight into nature in the news. The 2005 animated movie Madagascar features a group of singing lemurs, and it appears that real-life lemurs have similar talents. A new study shows that a species of lemur in Madagascar can sing and make two different rhythmic patterns. The first pattern consists of notes that are evenly spaced, but the second has a 1-to-2 ratio, with every second note being twice as long as the first. Scientists say that the two combined form the familiar beat of We Will Rock You by Queen. It was also found that gender plays a role in the sounds, with male lemurs holding out notes longer and leaving a longer duration in between notes than females. Recording the songs proved to be a very difficult task, and even after years of studying these vocalizations, researchers are still unsure of why and how the lemurs developed this talent. The most common theory is they use the sounds for long-distance communication and to defend their territory. Whatever the reason, these animals have vocal talents that could give Adele a run for her money.
Elephants are some of the most frequently poached animals on our planet. However, the discovery of genes which cause elephants to be born without these tusks could potentially save the species. Scientists studying elephants in Mozambique's Gorgachanga National Park were shocked to find a big population of elephants without these tusks. This is due to the elephants having a long history of being poached in order to sell the ivory, which is the white material of the tusks. These tusks are known to sell for very high prices throughout much of Asia and Africa, and over hundreds of years, many populations have been listed as endangered. As a result, throughout many years of adaptation and evolution, a large number of elephants have developed a gene that allows them to be naturally born without these tusks, making them much less likely to be hunted. Unfortunately, there are several negative side effects of these animals losing the tusks. This is because elephants need this body part to strip tree bark, dig for food, and aid themselves in self-defense. With the rising number of elephants that are being born without tusks, it's going to be very interesting to see just how they will adapt to the change.
Disney's Animal Kingdom gained a new member in October. A female Hartman's mountain zebra was born on October 13th and was quickly up walking with her mother Zoe. The foal took in her new surroundings, crossing paths with neighbors, including a friendly giraffe. Zoe's daughter isn't able to properly introduce herself yet, as she still remains nameless. Visitors to the park can see her prancing around, still working on her balance. This is not the first baby zebra born in the park over the last couple of years. In June 2020, Pebbles, another Hartman mountain zebra, gave birth to a daughter named Phoenix, named for being a symbol of strength and renewal. Hartman's mountain zebras are vulnerable in the wild with a population of around 35,000 and are threatened by human development, drought, and hunting.
The California condor, a unique bird species that has been around since the late Pleistocene era, is now one of the most endangered species on our planet. A species that at one point had only 23 remaining in the wild is now starting to rebound thanks to a recent discovery. Conservation geneticists found that there are 2 cases in which chicks can hatch from unfertilized eggs. This method is known as parthenogenesis, a process where female embryos do not need to be fertilized by a male. This type of behavior is common for species of fish and lizards, but for a bird species, it's quite the rare phenomenon stated by scientists. Parthenogenesis was discovered in the condors because the hatched chicks turned out to be males, and as it turns out, condors that reproduce using parthenogenesis can only birth males. Scientists believe that the species has resorted to this method of reproduction as a, quote, last-ditch effort to save the population. Luckily, a species that at one point had only 23 remaining in the wild is now up over 500 thanks to this incredible way of reproduction.
Hello everyone, my name is Brian Michigan here for your Central Pennsylvania forecast. Now, the start of November has been a pretty chilly one at that, with temperatures well below average for this time of year. However, as we make our way through this weekend, it looks like temperatures could make a little bit of a rebound as we get back to around average. I'll get to that in just a minute, but as we kick things off with Friday, high pressure looks to be in play for much of the region, leading for sunny skies throughout much of Pennsylvania and surrounding areas. The lake effect snow machine and rain machine is still in play for much of the area. Not a whole lot in terms of accumulations. Mainly the snow showers will be scattered in upstate New York, and rain showers will be very scattered up towards Erie. Doesn't look to be a whole washout though. We'll probably still see some more peaks of sunshine off to those regions of the state. Off the East Coast, we have this coastal system that is going to be moving its way north and eastward, maybe bringing some scattered showers towards the coast and maybe some wind along with that. But other than that, it doesn't look to be a full washout for Friday. Saturday looks to be absolutely gorgeous for your weekend. Sunny skies, the most sunny skies as you head more off to the north, and maybe a couple clouds for the southwestern portions of Pennsylvania and the more southwest you go in the region. Now for Sunday, high pressure is still in play, leading for mostly sunny skies throughout much of the region. However, another coastal system will be working its way north and eastward, leading to some rain showers off the coast of New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and even Long Island. And it's also going to be pretty windy at that, and the surf is going to be kicked up quite a bit for your Sunday. So for now on Friday, 47 degrees with some sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful day on Friday here in State College. Friday night could get a little bit chilly, 28 degrees as your low temperature, which is quite below average for this time of year. Saturday, 49 degrees with mostly sunny skies. And Saturday night, you're going to be rolling the clocks back an hour with a low temperature of 30 degrees and partly cloudy skies. And for your Sunday, temperatures rebound to about average for this time of year, sitting at 53 degrees and partly cloudy skies. But don't go anywhere, because up next we have a feature on the Weather Enterprise by Stuart.
American football is a sport where it takes a team effort to win a game. A team is made up of an offense, defense, and special teams. Each of these components are made up of different roles that are filled by the players, such as quarterback, safety, and kicker. Just like American football, the weather industry is also a team. It too is made up of three components: the public sector, the private sector, and academia. The first component is the public sector, or the government. Before becoming the National Weather Service, the first use of a government weather agency occurred after the Civil War for the Armed Forces. It was then called the United States Weather Bureau in 1890. In 1970, the Weather Bureau was renamed to the agency we know today. Their role is to collect data through weather balloons, radar, satellites, etc. The data is then plugged into numerical weather predictions and comes out in models such as the Global Forecast System or the North American Mesoscale. They also issue hazards, such as advisories, watches, and warnings when certain conditions warrant. In 1979, President Carter established the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, with its role to respond to disasters. Since then, states have formed their own agencies and hired meteorologists. On October 28, 2015, Jeff Jumper was hired as the first meteorologist for the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. The private sector makes up the second component of the enterprise, consisting of for-profit companies and news organizations. The role of the private sector is to take the product from the public sector and tailor it for the general public for easy use. They also communicate advisories given by the National Weather Service to the public. The first use of meteorologists was for radios during the end of the Roaring Twenties. Television meteorologists made their appearance following World War II. In 1982, the Weather Channel formed a television station that displayed weather 24/7. On October 25, 2021, Fox Weather made its debut with an app and a streaming service online. The last group is academia. This is made up of universities to educate new meteorologists who may work in the other sectors. It is also made up of laboratories to perform research and coding. Research includes answering questions such as, why did this forecast bust? Or how did this storm further strengthen? Professors and researchers are not just meteorologists, but may include physicians, chemists, engineers, or other STEM fields. The team is now assembled. Now, to become a championship team, the enterprise needs to have resilience during adversity. This adversity came during the turn of the last millennium. During the time, debate was among members of the private and public sectors about the boundaries for the other sectors. In 2003, Fair Weather came out to not just set boundaries, but to better communicate between the sectors and how to improve each sector. It was decided that it would be decisive to set rigid boundaries for each sector. However, meetings at the American Meteorological Society, where the location was neutral, would be the time to discuss issues related to the sectors. Center County is unique by the fact that it has all three components of the weather enterprise, with the National Weather Service and Innovation Park representing the public sector, AccuWeather on Science Park Road representing the private sector, and the Pennsylvania State University at University Park representing academia. For Weather or Not, I'm Stuart Dougherty.
Hello everyone, my name is Brian Michigan, back at it again for the extended forecast. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the show, it has been a pretty chilly start to November throughout much of Pennsylvania, but that looks to make a change as we head into this weekend and even into next week. Now, speaking of this weekend, we'll recap it for you. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all look to be beautiful days throughout much of Pennsylvania with a lot of sunshine and temperatures making a steady increase as we head towards Sunday, where temperatures will be back to around average for this time of year. We're going to roll back the clocks an hour on Saturday night, and low temperatures throughout the weekend look to be below average as well. 28 degrees as you wake up on, or as you go to bed on Friday. Now, as I mentioned earlier, above normal temperatures will be in play for us here in Pennsylvania and out into the northwestern portions of the country. That's the only area where it'll really be below average. As we head eastward, you will see the above normal temperatures throughout much of the central portions of the country and including us eastward here in Pennsylvania. Now, as we head into the extended forecast, Monday and Tuesday look to be pretty dry, and as we head into Wednesday, that's where weather could get a bit unsettled as we head into this next week. Thursday and Friday will be drying out, but as you can see, as we start this week, getting close to 60 degrees for your Monday and still above average Tuesday, getting around average for your Wednesday, dipping back below average for Thursday, but it'll definitely be rebounding for your Friday. Don't go anywhere, because up next we have your quiz answer.
And now here's the answer to your Weather Whiz quiz question. How low did the population of California condors reach? A, 21, B, 22, C, 23, or D, 24?
And the correct answer is C, 23 California condors. It really is so scary to see just how low that species population fell. I'm really glad that over the years, this beautiful species has been able to recover back to over 500.
It's great news that their numbers are improving. It would have been a real shame to lose such a magnificent creature. Well, that about wraps up this week's edition of Weather or Not. We thank you all for tuning in and hope to see you again next week. But until then, I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Brian. Have a great week.